Good evening. Welcome to Greeneville High School. We will be watching Volunteer out of Churchill against South Doyle out of Knoxville.
So as far as I know, this is a South Doyle team that's been struggling, from what I've heard. But hopefully they can pull together a few good wrestling moves.
It appears as though Volunteer has only brought about 6 wrestlers. So with South Doyle, it appears they have about 8 or 9. So it's probably score-wise with forfeits will be a pretty even match.
Yeah.
It'll come down to how they perform on the mat. I have not seen either team wrestle this year.
Yeah, neither have I, but I kind of feel like if you're one of these two teams, obviously you don't have a full roster, so the wrestling, the win isn't important as much as with the ones that we do have. Can we learn? Can we grow? Can we get better?
And not knowing the wrestlers by name or by grade, it's very difficult to determine whether or not they're rebuilding with a bunch of freshmen or if they have upperclassmen and will be replacing. So hopefully we can get the grade as they report to the mat.
Okay.
And we'll have a little better idea of what each of these teams will look like in the future.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate.
106 is a double forfeit for both teams.
So we're starting at the lowest weight right now. And it was a double forfeit. All right, let's see what Volunteer can bring here. If it's not a forfeit. Nobody is warming up whatsoever.
It looks like Volunteer has taken a forfeit at 113.
And a 6-0 lead for Volunteer.
Volunteer is reporting at, I'm thinking, 120.
And the last time I've come to a high school wrestling match, it was the old weight classes.
So Volunteer is currently leading 12-0. I think that was 120. It looks like 126 is probably reporting with another forfeit, so 18-0. Volunteer, all with forfeits. I'm sure they'll try to get some exhibition matches in. Again, we do not have the names. They have not been reported, so I apologize for that. I don't have name or grade. We should be 126 maybe.
As a former 103-pounder, I'm all familiar with forfeits. So hopefully we can actually see some matches here. That is the third hand raise.
Yep, third hand raise. We got 18-0. We think we have South Dole's 138 reporting. It looks like he'll take a forfeit to make it 18-6, all by forfeits, and I think these guys are going to wrestle an exhibition match.
All right, some actual action.
So if I have the score correct, I think 18-6 is where we stand. 38.
All right, here we go. Are you ready?
We're ready to roll. Let's get
some real action.
Get some heat in this gym. It's a little chilly.
Let's do it.
So we have Volunteer wearing blue and orange. South Doyle has reported in red for this match.
Let me see. Volunteers getting the underhooks in, trying to control the pace of the match so far. I think one thing you kind of see that these younger, more inexperienced wrestlers do a lot is they like to go and lock up right away.
Looks like he was trying to throw a headlock, slipped a little, and Volunteer comes down with a 2-point takedown, leading 2-0 with about 1:30 in the match. Got a 2 count. Got a 2 count for near fall.
Yep.
So
it's
Volunteer
4 to
should be
nothing.
leading 4-0. Yes.
He's thrown in legs. Okay. Let's see if he can properly have the right body position. He needs to get his hips up. Oh,
Little tilt going on there.
okay.
So he's got the full count. He will be awarded 3 when they return. It is now 7-0 with 3-point near fall for Volunteer.
And let's see if he goes back to legs or if he's going to try to get the pin here or if he's working on some technique.
Looks like he's going for a tilt. Locked up underneath. We got 44 seconds left in the first period. Volunteer appears to be in complete control in this match.
I think the key for this South Doyle kid, get your head off the mat, keep working up, hand, wrist control. Because that's easier said than done.
It does not appear to be moving a lot at the moment. He may be young. He did get a stalling call there, and looks like he's getting another back point on tilt. And he has the full near fall. 3 more, making the score 10-0 with about 10 seconds left. Let's see if South Doyle can get a 1-point escape here as time gets close to being expired. No, it looks like going back, no back.
There.
And we are out of time in the first period with Volunteer leading 10-0.
Well, I got to say I wasn't expecting to see the Volunteer wrestler throw in the legs there and tilting. That's refreshing to see.
And the Volunteer wrestler is giving up 1 weight class, so they've bumped for the exhibition. Volunteer wrestler appears to be quite aggressive. South Dole's a little bit reactive.
Yeah. I'd like to see, there we go, swim around, there we go.
Good takedown, 12-0, leg. He got the leg in. If he gets a full near fall here, it'll be 15, and
now
this match will end with a tech fall.
I'm saying he can get the pin here, though, if he raises his hips up and swims around and gets the half in.
Yeah, it looks like his hips are just a little bit low.
Yep, there he goes.
129. He's going to rotate. He's definitely got the tech fall. If he got the full 3. Oh, he only got the 2, so he's leading 14-0.
I think he thought that he had the 3 as well.
I think so. It looked like he kind of just stopped.
Was going to end.
Oh, almost to a locked hands there. See if he goes back to the tilt, try to get 2 more and finish this thing off.
Yes. Oh, there he goes.
There you go. Oh,
it's
may,
over now.
He may try to finish. So either a pin or a tech fall. Looks like he's going to give up the tech fall if he lets go of the move, and he has. And 2 near fall makes it 16-0 for a Volunteer victory.
Well,
and that will not be team points. So if I'm not mistaken, it is still 18-6.
that is correct. I got to say though that the Volunteer, I'm impressed with the tilts, with the leg riding. That is very impressive on the top.
And the South Doyle young man from South Dole's an athletic-looking young man. If he's young, with a little bit of practice, can definitely turn things around. But fairly athletic-looking. Probably 138. It looks like we're at 145 maybe with the forfeits. We're kind of off. Double forfeit at 145. 152 appears. 152 is also a double forfeit, so it looks like we got 160 reporting for Volunteer.
And we have a tall, lanky kid here for Volunteer.
We do.
And another tall, lanky kid for South Doyle.
The South Doyle man.
We'll see if any of them are shooters.
That young man's a very, very athletic-looking young man. Probably a football player. If not, he should think about it. Maybe, wide receiver? With that height, he looks like he's about 6 foot there and 160. So
he's definitely got the height for sure. So we got some locking up again early on.
I usually know most of the Volunteer kids from middle school, but I don't recognize this one.
I am curious, Jason, is the hairnet rule not a thing anymore for?
We got 2 takedown for South Doyle. No, they took the hair. They took the hair rule away about 2 years ago.
I didn't know that. Okay.
So they no longer wear any covering. It looks like South Doyle got a nice takedown there.
That was nice.
Will he come back for top position, or will he release Volunteer as quickly as he got that takedown for a stand up and restart? But it looks like he's going to start from the top position.
All right. He needs to get behind the elbow.
It looked like his form was from what I see, inexperienced form, like you said, middle school, but athleticism definitely helps him out a whole lot. I'd like to see his record for the year.
You could tell he's definitely athletic and strong. What you hope to see is some technique added with that.
Looks like he's going for a half. There's no bar with it, so kind of hard to turn a half without a bar, but he has.
You got to get back under that arm.
There he goes. So he did get under the arm. It looks like no count yet, maybe a one count, but no points.
He's got to get under that elbow. He's not going to be able to hold anybody on their back.
You know, we in middle school, we start very young teaching that bar just so we can control. There he goes. He got a turn to the back, and looks like he is getting back points. He did get the full three, so he's leading 5-0. Real close to full Nelson there.
Very close. Very close.
I've seen it called many times in that position, but no call. And it looks like we've went back to the half from top position, and with no bar, it's difficult to pin from that position.
Yeah. He unless this kid gives up, he's not really going to get the pin here unless he just muscles him.
Oh, it looks like he arched to his back. He didn't realize off the head back was on the mat, but
that's just inexperience.
South Doyle does get the pin, and if I'm not mistaken, the score should be about 18-12 with 170 coming up.
And we're not including the double forfeit points in there. We're strictly just the forfeit points. So, but as far as non-exhibit, or if you count the exhibitions, they're 1-1 with each other. But hey, I mean, South Doyle and Volunteer, they look like young programs.
Volunteer's been around a little bit. They've went from being a full squad down to a few, but I know they've had some issues with the passing of their coach Scott Solomon. So I'm sure trying to replace Scott, and I know the middle school
rough transition.
The middle school team, it looks like there's a double forfeit at 170. Their middle school team had about 20 kids this year, so very solid numbers that are coming their way. So it looks like their rebuild may go well in the future. So,
and you do hope that the one thing that carries over is these kids wrestle in high school, even if it's just 50% of them. I mean, you like more than that, but what you don't want is 3 of the 20 going on to wrestle in high school, and then you get a situation here where there's double forfeits all night.
I know Volunteers also dropped down to small school, I believe, and being small school, I'm very familiar with. My goal is to send about 10 kids to high school for each grade level, and in hopes that 6 to 8 of them wrestle, 3-4 years.
Okay.
Doesn't always happen, but if I can put 6 in a room every year, that's a team of 24 for 13 weight classes. So I did hear the young man from South Doyle at 182. I think he said his last name was Rutherford. I did not hear the name from Volunteer, but
I think he needs to. Yep, the coach for Volunteer is correct. He needs to get his points here, and then he can focus. But the ref gave him the points.
Oh, no points. They wiped it off. I thought that was a little early.
Yeah, it was.
And
Crossfade, and this is exactly why you get your points. You see what happens here. Now he got taken down.
Quick reversal, didn't get in great position, didn't get his points, and South Doyle ends up winning the match 2-0 at the moment with about 1 minute left in the first period.
And if you're a coach, there's nothing more frustrating than when you get your points and you don't take them.
Especially in a close match. I mean, we got 18-12, and every point may matter for the final decisions. So this is a big match for Volunteer in terms of winning the dual meet.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing you do notice here is how they're staying on their knees, especially on top. I mean, he needs to stay behind the elbows, stay on his toes. And, that's one of those things. It's easier said than done, but.
Yeah, I go back and watch some of my old matches when I was in high school, and I'm like, man, I was lazy at times, and I think every wrestler doesn't realize they're doing that until they actually see it on video. Looks like we got some potential back points. Is he going to roll through? Looks like a referee's giving a really quick count. We got 8 seconds. 7, 6, 5,
Will he
4,
survive?
3. Oh, he got
man.
it with 3 seconds left in the first period.
And the question has to be asked: would he have gotten pinned if he had got his points there at the beginning?
If he had settled in on top and got his points,
Yeah.
I definitely think he makes it through the first period.
Yeah.
He wasn't being overpowered. It's almost as though when he went to his back, he just kind of settled into a comfortable spot, and it ended up in a pin. So I've got 18-18, and I will confirm the score here in just a second.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's definitely a teachable moment for Volunteer there. I mean, that kid started out great, didn't get his points, ended up getting taken down, and then he gets pinned with 3 seconds left. I mean, there's a lot there to correct. But there's not potential there.
So we have a double forfeit at 195, and it looks like South Dole's reporting at 220. And I think that may be the last of the wrestlers for Volunteer. So if there's a double forfeit at heavyweight, that last match could have mattered. But I think South Dole has a heavyweight, which makes that last match mean a little bit less. So we'll give the forfeit there to South Dole. They take the lead 24-18. And then they are reporting their heavyweight, which would give them a 30-18 victory if my.
Well, that's a shame, though, that you have a team of like 6 or 7 wrestlers on each side, and none of them, they all happen to miss each other's weights.
I mean, we came through with 2 exhibitions, or 1 exhibition and 1 match, or did we have 2 matches there?
We had 2 normal matches and an exhibition there.
So you drive out for a dual meet, and three guys get a match. That's tough.
And especially from South Doyle. I mean, Knoxville's a long drive.
I know that Greeneville's going to be warming up, and we'll break for a few minutes while they warm up. But I think Greeneville and South Doyle will be reporting to the mat next, and I will almost guarantee that they will all get a match against Greeneville. So it appears that South Dole's hopping sides. They'll wrestle this match, and then I think they are on the road after this match. So we'll take a break, and then when Greeneville flips and gets ready to start, myself and my assistant here, Mr. King, will be back, and we'll see if Greeneville can get another victory.
All right, thank you, Jason. All right, we're back with a forfeit at a lower weight class. What a surprise.
That one came up pretty quick. So that was Ronan Johnson taking the forfeit for 6-0 Greeneville lead. Looks like I was wrong. They're not wrestling South Doyle. They are going to wrestle Volunteers. So we're now at 113. And this is the freshman phenom, Carson Dupeal.
So
I think
Carson
this is
Dupeal is 24-5 on the season with 8 pins. Really impressive for a freshman. What a great stance, too.
Yes, that is Carson. Carson has won several major tournaments.
There we go.
I know I can think of about 3. Very technical with a great takedown leading 2-0.
Let's see what he does here on top.
He has been compared. Yeah, so he gave up the escape, but Carson has been compared to a very young Hunter Mason, who is a 2-time state champ coming into this junior year. So
what a good comparison.
Yeah, not bad to have that comparison.
All right, so he needs to walk that leg up.
So it looks like he did lock the leg, and he got another takedown leading 4-1 after the escape.
And you could tell that he's a good wrestler there based on when he had him down with his back points there for a second. He turned toward the hip and not the head. Inexperienced wrestlers tend to turn toward the head because I feel like that's a lot of natural reaction to do that, you know.
Definitely something in his hands, definitely in control.
He needs to get behind the elbow there. He needs to get behind.
Looks like as Volunteer balled up there, he's going to go for the cradle. Probably will end up in a pin if he looks like it's pretty tight, but it's not definitely set. So he's going to get his count, see if he breaks his hands. He did not break his grip, so he is going for the pin. Definitely not going for points here when you don't break that grip to take your points.
I will say, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I think this kid has a bright future.
When you're compared to Hunter Mason, who's signed with Virginia Tech, I would think that you're definitely doing things right as a freshman.
Right.
Carson is a transfer this year, and I'm not sure where he transferred in from, but he and his brother both have transferred to Greeneville, so he has held the. He is getting the count this time, so he's definitely going to get his 3. Let's see if he settles in and goes for the pin. He's not going to go for the pin, so he's going to finish out the first period with 3 near fall leading 5-0.
All right. And you could tell he could stick a half in there anytime and pin this kid, but he's working on what he wants to work on, which is important in matches like this. You that's something I wish I could have told a younger me. You know, up until my senior year, I didn't do a whole lot of experimenting, and I wish I would have.
Volunteer has chosen top in this second period, and it looks like we got a quick escape. Carson's actually a 106-pound wrestler, so we're bumping him up for this match. So it looks like.
Oh, nice, good movement there, good quick feet. Let's see if he can lift him up, get him.
Back inbounds. So he did get the 2.
Let's see if he can elevate those legs. Lift them legs up and get some points. There we go.
I think I'm going to have to check the score after this one, but we're probably at 8-9.
And we do apologize for the score dilemma. We don't have a scoreboard to look at directly.
10. I think I've got 12 in my mind. Let me take a quick look over here. Yeah, it is 12-1. And there's 1 minute and 35 seconds left in the second period. Looks like he might be going for another tilt. No, broke him down.
I think it looks. Is he going for a ball and chain or an arm bar? I can't tell from this angle.
I thought at first he might be looking to go with a chicken wing, but he does have that wing in now.
Oh, there he is.
Yep.
It is.
I thought he might be, so a little bit out of position there to start with. I think his skill level is going to be fine. He's going to get his backs there. Good job. Good job. So he broke the move for 2 more, make it 14-1. It looks like at first Volunteer was in position for a Peterson, but it looks like Carson has put a quick stop to that. He's going to get the half. You can see what I was talking about with the bar. We definitely control that underarm.
Oh, yeah. That's and I'm going to give this Volunteer kid some credit. He's fighting. I mean, he's not just rolling over and
I would guess this is probably an upperclassman. It looks like we're going to give up an escape to make it 14-2.
I mean, his stance is I will say it almost reminds me of an upperclassman the way he's moving, at least for around this area, of East Tennessee.
And what's impressive, down 14-2, or if we get this takedown 16-2, there you go. The Volunteer kid's not backing down, so may have been 17-2 there. No, I thought I was right, 16-2, so it's not a tech fall yet. I was wondering what was taking place there, but Volunteer kid's not. He's quit. He's not quitting. He's
Absolutely.
Probably upperclassman, doesn't want to lose.
I mean, if I was the Volunteers kids coach, I mean, obviously he's outmatched,
yes.
and I would be proud that he's been trying to fight.
Okay, so he's got the points for a near fall, technical fall now. Looks like it's going to go 18-2 with
excellent job.
5 seconds. 5 seconds
And
left in the second period.
Once again, that was a freshman, Carson Dupill, 24-5.
Now he's going to be 25-5.
Yep, 25-5. 8 pins and at least 1 tech fall.
Okay, so we got Leandre Dabney coming up here for Greeneville against Volunteer. Leandre is not wrestled this year, but
and I'm looking at his stats, Jason. Leandre Dabney hasn't wrestled this year. He's a senior. His career record is 104-33 with 61 pins.
I know his.
So this guy's a pin machine.
His sophomore, junior year, it was all pins, and his sophomore year is when he broke through and kind of surprised some folks to win a state championship. Last year, run into, I believe it was a Urichuk. I believe it's the older Urichuk, maybe the middle Urichuk. But
fireman's carry. Wow.
Very, very nice. Excellent. Fireman's carry to front headlock.
That's it. This is over.
So he's got two. He's going to give up.
I am surprised he got out of that.
Leandre is definitely one of the strongest kids that I've ever coached, but also at the same time one of the nicest kids. He'll say thank you, sir, and yes, sir, and we'll give you everything he's got at the same time. Great young man. Great young man.
And he's got some awesome shoes to boot. And an awesome Greeneville singlet, which I have never seen.
We got a few of those floating around.
Man, you leave
for
a
we got it on senior night there. That looked like a quick pin, but with 1 minute and 6 seconds, so 54-second pin on senior night. Our senior Leandre Dabney picks up his first win of the 2021 and 22 season. Very, very happy young man.
Look at him. He's excited. You can tell. And I'm happy for him.
You mentioned the head coverings, and I'll say real quick, you can't see Leandre at the other coach praising the other young man, but that's no longer required, as the wrestlers no longer have to shake another coach's hand. So
is that a COVID measure?
That was pre-COVID, just to prevent issues. Leandre appears very happy to be back on the mat.
Look at him. He's
great
excited.
young man, big smiles. So we're at 126 now. It looks like Cooper Johnson. I didn't see him step up, but I believe Cooper is a sophomore.
He is, and he is 9-4 on the season with a 27-9 career record.
And Cooper's bumped. I know Cooper wrestled at, I want to say Cooper wrestled some last year at 106. So you take a young man who's a sophomore who had a great season at 106.
Nice
and has now been pushed to 126. So you're giving up quite a bit of weight from where you were in the past. So it's a big adjustment to jump weight classes. But
and once these kids graduate, this will only benefit him his junior and senior year.
It will. It will. Cooper's the younger brother of Hunter Johnson, who was a 2 or 3 time state placer, graduated off of our team last year. So,
okay.
So Cooper's following in the shoes of his brother, leading 2-0 unless he got back points. He did not get back points. So I've got a 2-0 score.
He's thrown in legs. Let's see what the positioning he's got here.
Good half in with the legs. He's going to have to adjust his hips.
He's got that tight. He's got that tight.
He's definitely getting his back points, and now he's settled, but he has lost his grip on the half. If you go back to a quick half here, he did get full 3, so it's 5-0.
I will say, so far, I am impressed with Greeneville's top game. They've been very strong on top so far. I mean, I understand the opponent, but just the technique and the moves, the variety, they're having fun. You tell they're having fun. They're doing what they're supposed to do.
I know that focus shifted about 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 4. It probably has a lot to do with Atlas, who came in. We were a team that focused a lot on takedowns, and then with Atlas coming to Greeneville, we have kind of shifted, and we do take top. Growing up, I remember my coach said, "We're going to take bottom every single time." That's no longer the case. We get on top, we ride, we pin. So it looks like we got a 7-0 match.
And you got to love the aggressiveness
He
there.
did get to full 3, so it's 8-0.
Okay. Let's see. It's Red's choice. He's going to take bottom. So it looks like this will be his forte, that he's on top again in the second period.
And with that tech fall, Greeneville didn't get the bonus points in the 115 match, so we're only at 11-0 instead of 12. So we got the 5 from the tech fall. Straight to that arm bar.
Oh. If he keeps this, this is going to be, this is the beginning of the period. This is going to be hard unless he lets go.
To sit in that position with your arm underneath for 2 minutes is very, very tough. It is real close. We got 134 left.
Yep.
You probably
He's
can't see
sit.
from the camera, but you can now maybe. But the volunteer kid's not liking being in that position. So let's see if he keeps fighting.
He's got it tight. Well, yeah, I'm gonna say that's what I was about to say. Is he gonna fight or is this it?
I think Cooper's looking at us, and I think he's pretty comfortable with where he's at right now. There you go. We got the pin. That's going to make it 17-0. Cooper was just out there having fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good-looking young man. It looks like we're going to move into the 126 slot.
The 126.
And this is the youngest brother of Leandre Dabney. This is Elijah Dabney coming in as a freshman at 126.
I'm sitting here looking for Elijah. There he is. Elijah Dabney, freshman. He's 2-2 on the year with a 2-2 career record as a freshman. So
I think Elijah may have been a football guy, so probably came in a couple weeks late and getting his weight in check. So
especially Greeneville checking in on the.
All right, so Elijah goes straight for a headlock, which we don't teach much in middle school, and in high school it just doesn't work very often.
Yeah, that's definitely a middle school beginner move right there, trying to outmuscle somebody, trying to get him in a headlock.
So a quick 2 for the volunteer. Again, we don't have their names. We apologize for that. 134 in the first period.
So Elijah, he needs to focus on getting his head off the mat, getting back into standing.
Very, very athletic young man. All 3 of the Dabneys were athletic as they came through the middle school. Looked like a little reach back there. Almost got him in trouble, but he recovered. You learn quick in high school what not to do.
Yeah. You know, when you wrestle and you're new to it, there's a lot of things you do that's natural instinct, like reaching back. You see it anytime you ever see anybody fight or anything like that, you always see them reaching back. But if you wrestle, that's a no-no. That's an invitation to please turn me my back.
And I'd love to have a quarter for every time I've yelled in a middle school match, do not reach back. I probably could retire.
Or at least take a very long vacation.
So looks like he's trying to work up from bottom, but he's kind of stable there. Looks like he's a little bit comfortable just sitting there.
Yeah, he needs to work, have some hand control, wrist control.
Volunteer's got a pretty good half in with
So whenever you got those legs in, what he needs to do is arch his hips up, raise his hips up as high as he can, make Volunteer uncomfortable for throwing those legs in. Anytime that someone's got the legs in and you can reach up and grab their head.
Yeah, and it looks like Volunteer's going to stick with those legs. He got 2 near fall on that last. Looks like he's getting another count, but here goes Elijah.
Get those hips up. Get those hips up.
Does he have an arm? Yeah, it looks like he does have an arm underneath. Volunteer.
Nope, don't jump over.
Volunteer did pick up 2 more near fall to lead 6-0. Elijah gets the reversal to make it 6-2, and it looks like he's going to get back points. We got 6 seconds left, but it does not look like he can pull the pin off.
And I think his arm is in the way of that guy's shoulder blade anyways.
Great recovery at the end of the first period. We are now in a 6-5 match, so I'll be curious to see how this one plays out. Both of them fighting hard.
And Elijah, he looks like one of those kids where right now he don't know a ton, but, man, getting him some technique, you never know. He might be a great wrestler down the line.
And as a freshman, every time you step on the mat, you're probably seeing somebody that's more experienced. So you've got to take advantage of those chances that you get.
Yes.
Hopefully that last chance at the end of the first period doesn't come back to haunt him.
All right, he's down on the bottom again, so let's see if he has any kind of movements and see what his first move is. Hopefully it's not the head to the mat.
Choice, so it looks like a Volunteer has chosen top, I believe. I didn't see the flip as we were talking, but hopefully Elijah will sit back and wait for that chance to get another reversal and some more backs. Got to keep that leg out. Even from top position, he's already working that leg in.
He's flattened out. That's not where he wants to be.
A little bit of hand fighting, so.
Yeah. What he needs to do, though, he needs to get that butt up in the air, get those feet moving, wrist control.
Another thing I see is that even as he's laying there, his back, I was about to say, he's almost exposing his back by himself. So Volunteer almost got back points, but luckily he caught himself before it happened.
Oh, no. And he's reaching back, which is not what he needs to be doing right now.
Yeah, Volunteer picked up a quick 2 there.
And a little more experience and another year in the wrestling room, he's not going to be that's a stalling call, by the way, on Greeneville. He looks like he's tired. But anyways, he's not going to be making those reaching back mistakes if he's listening to his coaching.
All right, so that's going to make it 6-5. 8-5, 8-6 because we got the full 3, but it does look like he's just stood up straight there.
Oh.
Great takedown by Volunteer.
No defense on standing. He's tired. You can tell he's tired.
With a 2-2 record, a little bit of it may be experience, but we're going 10-2 with more back points coming, or 10-6 with more back points coming.
Yeah, and when you get in high school, that's really the first level where out-strengthening people isn't going to work on a consistent basis.
So there comes the other 3.
With it. He's tired.
They hit him for solid again?
Yeah, they hit him.
Oh, was that a standing cradle? Wow. And it looks like Elijah just a little overpowered there as a freshman. But good fight in the first period and build up conditioning and strength. And I think we're going to see another Leandre and Charles, who I don't see here tonight. But we're going to see him step in and fill the shoes of his younger brother.
Well, you'd hope so.
Older brother, sorry.
He definitely needs to get in more wrestling shape, that's for sure.
All right, so we're coming up on 132 here, and this looks like it may be Josh Jennings, who was a middle school wrestler. So Josh is going to take a forfeit.
So he goes from 2-4 to 3-4 on the season, and a 3-4 career record with a pin to his credit. Just
Double
a freshman.
Forfeit at 40. I'm thinking Colin was 145. I think 38 was a forfeit, double forfeit maybe, and
another forfeit.
We got the older brother to Carson, who wrestled at 113, taking a forfeit there, giving us a lead, if I'm correct, at 23-6. Noah Murray stepping in here. I'm pretty sure Noah's been wrestling 152.
He is a freshman as well,
yes.
11-7 record, but 11 of those wins with 9 pins.
Very, very good.
So.
Middle school wrestler.
Yeah.
One of the better wrestlers in 8th grade last year stepped into a spot that was open, and I know he's wrestled some at 160.
Beautiful tilt.
Dropped to 152. Great takedown, and like you said, a great tilt.
Wow. One thing it pops out about me with Noah here right away is he's a freshman. He's 11-7. You know that's a solid record, but he looks comfortable out there. You know, I'm not saying he's wrestling some great wrestler, but
Noah will take advantage of what you give him and not make a ton of mistakes. One thing I like about Noah is, as a 6th grader, when Noah stepped into the wrestling room, I found out really quick that he hates to lose.
Oh.
And we addressed that. And of course, as he got older, he did much better with that. Doesn't mean he likes to lose now, but definitely a kid that'll improve, plays football. So he's probably coming in a couple weeks late. Great pin from freshman Noah Murray there. And he's also a baseball player, as far as I know. He was a baseball player at middle school and catcher and maybe some infield. So a 3-sport athlete here.
All right. Well, I mean, you can tell he's got some athleticism, and he's very receptive to coaching. I saw him several times look up to Randy, Coach Shelton, and listen to what Coach was telling him to do.
Great young man, great win. Looks like we're at 170. I have the score written down here at 29-6 after Noah's match. Looks like we are. Take a look at our lineup here. I believe this is Paul.
Paul
I believe
Anderson.
this is Paul Anderson wrestling 170 for us.
Okay, he's 6-5 on the year.
I think Paul's a sophomore or a junior.
He is a sophomore.
Young man did not wrestle middle school. Came in last year, loved the sport, and making the varsity lineup here as a sophomore. I know he got a few matches as a freshman.
All right.
Of course, when you're in the weight room with Colin and Carson's older brother there, Colin, and you're in between Colin and Noah, and
We're on blood time.
also
now
above
Greeneville.
him you got Kodiak. Looks like we have blood time starting. Sounds like this is a common occurrence for Paul, so we'll stop. We'll stop for
The
for blood
coaches are
time.
making light of his blood, so he must bleed a lot.
We're 31 seconds into the first period, and I'm not sure they awarded. They did award Paul a takedown, so Paul's actually leading 2-0 here.
Yes.
Early in the first period.
And I can speak from personal experience. One thing that's very frustrating is when you're in a rhythm and blood time stops you.
The best part about blood time is to get to see Coach Shelton and Coach Fagundes out there on the mat actually doing a little bit of work. I mean, most of the time during the match, all we see is them standing over there yelling, and to actually see them get down on the mat and pretend to be working is a positive sight for us there. So we'll hopefully catch some slack over that one, but that's okay. Randy looks like he might be fatigued from that trip across the mat, so it doesn't look like he's taking many trips across the mat this year.
Will he make it back to the chair? That's the question.
I'm pretty sure he's going to make it. I'm pretty sure that one or two of us may be entitled to at least a slap or maybe a takedown, because he will definitely get us back for that. So watching closely, I'm sure
Randy,
Paul still has plenty of time. I'm not going to apologize.
Well, you're his brother. That's a little different.
All right, so it looks like we have the bleeding stopped. A little bit of cleanup time. They're cleaning up Red. Looks like the official's trying to rush him out there before we get him cleaned up. So they'll come back to check
all too
the
familiar
cleanup.
for me.
Yeah, I wore a face mask my whole junior year.
So all too familiar for you too.
May have to pull the old face mask out. It looks like an old Jason mask from the movie. So here we go with Paul on top, leading 2-0.
So one thing, I see potential in Paul, but he didn't really have a first move up there on top, and you say it's costing him here.
I'm hoping that he can recover, but no, he did. It didn't appear that he had much when that started.
No, he
looks like he has maintained control there. Great move on maintaining control.
All right. Well, he didn't quit the fight there. He got back on top, maintained control. Now let's see what his move is.
Oh, had a great half in, but he's out of position when he pulled it in. So we got a quick reversal for Volunteer. Let's see if he gives up the half.
When you constantly stay on your knees, that stuff happens.
Yes.
Really. You see it over and over
Oh,
with these
looks
young
like
wrestlers.
we got blood time starting again. Coach Fagundes is taking a quick jog over. Let's see. Oh, he's out of breath. You guys can check that on camera. 2 trips for Randy in one match. That's going to be tough. He may be sore tomorrow.
And I assume there's still blood time, right? Like you got a certain amount of time before the match is over.
And that number changes. I can't remember if it's down to 4.5 minutes, but 2 or 3 years ago it was about 5 minutes. I've never had a kid run out of blood time. So until that happens, I probably won't know the exact time. But obviously, the only time that they actually record is the actual bleeding time. So you can hear the officials stop it.
Well, that's good to know.
We may spend another 2 minutes in cleanup here, but
it doesn't go against the actual blood. Okay,
yes, so
well, that's good to know, because the last thing you want to do is lose a match on some, little thing like that.
It looks like they did get the reversal, and we do have a 2-2 match with 37 seconds in the first period. Feels like it ought to be the third period by now after the stoppages, but still cleaning up Volunteer, and we'll get back to action in just a second. We have our awesome trainer here, Glenn. Glenn takes very good care of our athletes at Greeneville High School.
And Glenn was there when I was at Greeneville, so And now I graduated 12 years ago, so or
Yeah.
going on 13.
Great guy, does a great job. Very thankful to have him at Greeneville High School. In Greeneville City Schools. Quick stand-up, quick escape.
There
Good
we
job.
go. Now that's the kind of movement you want to see there. You know, not doing anything when the whistle blows. Movement, movement, movement.
So Paul jumped in.
There you go.
The form wasn't perfect, but, man, he just went after it. And it's just overpowering. Quick half, quick
There we
bar.
go. He looks like a
So
new
after-
man on a mission. Is this the
Yeah.
same kid that was?
I'm wondering if the nosebleed he said, there we go.
I
think the nosebleed motivated him. He
Excellent
said,
finish.
if I'm going to have to deal with blood time, I'm just going to get this thing over with. And he definitely finishes the match. Let's see if the call stands. Both wrestlers come off with blood pretty much all over them there. But looks like the call may stand as our 182-pounder is reporting. But
Yeah.
we'll wait to confirm that the call stands. If it does stand, I've got 35-6 written on paper. Not going to confirm that as the score at the moment yet, but plenty of
I
cleanup.
wouldn't think the rest wouldn't hold that up, would you?
If
Honestly, I mean-
if the bleeding occurs while you're on your back, it is. In our case, Paul was winning.
Yeah.
If the bleeding starts, then he would get his near fall when they call the stoppage.
Okay.
If he's on bottom and the other guy's bleeding you're on bottom, the other guy is bleeding. I've already messed this up, but there's a potential of 4 points if the guy if the losing wrestler, the wrestler getting pinned, is the wrestler with the nosebleed. So had that been Paul on bottom, nose started bleeding before they called a pin, they would award an additional point, so he would get potentially 4 near fall awarded to the wrestler on top. So
Okay.
sorry for the
Well,
confusion there.
no, that's good to know.
Anytime there's blood, it's immediate stoppage. So it appears they're calling him back out to raise his hand, but
I guess he forgot to get his hand raised.
and at this point, it looks like he has some paper towel in both nostrils. So I'd be curious to see if he pulls through and can wrestle the second match on the night. Like I said, I've got 35-6 if that score is correct, with our 182-pound, 3-time state champion Kodiak Kennedy in his senior year.
Kodiak is, let me read this off to you how impressive this is. He's 15-2 on the year, 11 pins. His career record is 119 wins, 11 losses, 97 pins. And was I correct in that he finished second in the Beast of the East?
He finished second.
One of the premier
let's see if
tournaments.
that was him in second at the Beast of the East. I know that we had placers this year. I think Hunter Mason may have been second. Let me update score. We had a forfeit at 95, making it 41. A forfeit at 220, making it 47, and a forfeit at heavyweight to make it 53. If I am correct in my scoring, and I'm going to double check, and I'll update the score in a second. Sorry to interrupt there.
Oh, no, it's fine.
I believe Hunter Mason was our runner-up, and I believe Kodiak may have been a placer.
The fact that he placed, that's impressive.
Very, very good tournament.
So I'll give you some season highlights for Greeneville. 3rd at the Inca tournament. 7th at the Battle for a Cure.
Okay, so final score for Greeneville Volunteer, as your announcer has missed several of those forfeits. As I said, I was keeping it on a piece of paper. It looks like the final score may have been, the scorebook said 71-6. 71-6 as the final score, and I will double check that. And if that is incorrect, when we start our next match after a quick break here, I will give you the actual final score of that match.
Just to finish what I was saying, 4th at the Catholic Invitational, 12th at the Beast of the East, 63rd at the Walsh Ironman, and that don't sound that impressive, but the Ironman is one of the premier tournaments in the entire country. 6th in the Great Smoky Mountain Grapple in the girls division, 5th in the Fandaddy Brawl in the girls, and 4th in the Brawl in the Hall, again for the boys. So we'll get started back here again soon.
106 or 13?
That was 106. So we have Elizabethan and South Doyle wrestling here. 106 with a forfeit for Elizabethan. Now I believe we have 113 coming out.
113 was a double forfeit, so I believe we got
okay 120.
120 now with a 12-0 lead for Elizabethton. I'm going to try to keep it a little better this time. The final score for that Greeneville and Volunteer match was 71-6. I did go back and double check. 126 coming out with another forfeit, making it 18-0. Looks like Elizabethton
has a full team. Maybe not a lot of backups, but a mostly full lineup, it looks like.
132 is taking a forfeit for Elizabethton to start this match 24-0. When you're wrestling a small team, just having numbers is very nice. You kind of have the match wrapped up before you even step out there. So it looks like we're at 138, and we do have a match.
So we saw this South Doyle kid wrestle earlier. Now we have the Elizabethan kid doing the hop routine pre-match with his coach.
Known Elizabethan coach Eddie Morrell for quite a while. Does a great job. Good numbers at the program. Have always kind of just fallen right behind us in the region, but definitely keep a full team and usually very athletic. Of course, Elizabethton has a great football team and get some
absolutely.
of those kids out.
Greeneville knows all too well.
Good scramble, but Elizabethton comes out on top after the scramble.
A lot of almost like bull rushing there for a second. The physical advantage goes to Elizabethton for sure.
Yes, in this match, definitely stronger kid. Definitely in control. I know he got some back points there. It looks like he did get a full 3. I thought that was a quick 3 count, but looks like it. Like you said, a little bit of bull maneuvering. Not a.
Yeah.
All right, so he's going to get some backs here. Pulled off of it. That's a tough move to run in high school.
I've seen a lot of from every team. With the exception of the real stud Greeneville wrestlers, a lot of going to the back and letting them off because they don't have the right arm or their body position's not great.
So much in technique and holding a kid in his position, having great control of that move when you actually get to the mat. Looks like he did get the pin.
Yep, he got it.
There are 33 seconds left in the first period. So that is a 1 minute and 27-second pin first period. I can't think of the Elizabethton wrestler's name. I apologize we don't have that list, but I know he is a pretty good wrestler for Elizabethton at 138. Looks like they're throwing 145 out to the mat now. We do have a 30-0 Elizabethton lead here in Greeneville's gym tonight.
Well, I was going to make a joke about this pink headgear, saying you better be a good wrestler if you wear pink headgear, but he's going to forfeit.
He's going to take a forfeit. That may be the other one that's pretty good. I know they have several really good wrestlers. Unfortunately for Elizabethton, a lot of them fall in that spot where we have really solid wrestlers. I failed to mention we have several wrestlers that are currently ranked in the nation. I know Carson's ranked 18. Hunter Mason at one time was at 5 or 6. And I think Kodiak is probably is ranked in the teens in the nation.
Yeah, I've been following Kodiak, not super closely, but casually in the last couple of years. He seems like he just dominates just about everybody he wrestles, especially around here. I mean, I know in those national tournaments you're not going to dominate everybody, but
definitely a great wrestler here. Greeneville will be missed next year. 3-time state champion is hard to replace. It's a lot of points.
Yeah, you don't replace that.
And he is going to continue his wrestling in Arkansas at I forget the exact school. I want to say Lafayette maybe, but it's a lower tier Division I, I believe.
Wow, impressive. We got some scrambling here. Refreshing to see. Oh, I don't know if he was trying to go for a headlock there or not. But whatever it did, it didn't work. Resulted in him getting taken down, the South Doyle kid.
So as I asked the weight, the girl from Elizabethton had the weight listed at 145, but she said the other kid was 160. So I'm not sure if this is a forfeit exhibition or if they've bumped to actually match up.
I'll say one thing. It's really tough to keep up with what matches or what when there's all these forfeits and exhibitions.
South Doyle had a nice roll, but Elizabethton was not caught. They had a nice re-roll.
Let's see if he tries to get out of bounds.
Nope. Did not make it out of bounds, and Elizabethton
nice
did pick up the pin. If that was an exhibition, then my score may be wrong, but I've got 42-0 for Elizabethton, and it does look like as we reach these heavier weights that Elizabethton may not have as many. It looks like we've got a couple more. We should be up in the neighborhood of 170 now.
Which, when I wrestled in high school, Elizabethton, they had a really good heavyweight, like a state placer heavyweight. He was really good, and that was the one thing Elizabethton was known for when I wrestled was their heavyweights.
And when you wrestled, they wrestled against all divisions. So
yeah,
you take a heavyweight that's placing it out of all divisions. That's a hoss.
There was no small school like there is now.
And I believe this may have been 170. And Elizabethton does not have a kid here.
South Doyle gets on the board.
I'm going to put 6 and make it 42-6. Again, my score may be incorrect because Elizabethton has their score and South Doyle has their score, so I'm kind of guessing.
And one thing that kind of, I don't want to say makes me sad. Sad's not the right word, but I really would like to see these South Doyle kids warming up over there. You know, they're just sitting on the bench with their headgears on, and that's not a slide at them. You know, that they don't know any better, but.
And also, I'm not sure that I saw them take an official team warm up before we started, but I know I was moving about. Looks like this is probably in the neighborhood of 195 or 220. I see one more wrestler warming up for Elizabethton. So we may get a match at 220 here, and then we may also get another match at heavyweight. So a couple good matches. South Doyle kid looks like a football kid. Good, strong kid.
He's got some strength, but there's not some technique there.
I'm pretty sure that Elizabethton kid, probably the football kid also, good, strong, big kid. Definitely taking quick control of this match with a 2-0 lead.
You almost wonder if some point, if the rivalry between the Greeneville and Elizabethton football, it'd be funny to see how it happens on the mat. If there's a little extra heat there, or if it's just business as usual.
With Greeneville wrestling, it's business as usual for us. Hopefully that rivalry doesn't carry over. We're currently at 9 region championships in a row, poised to make a run for the 10th one this year. And I'm not sure what the current state record is for region championships, consecutive region championships among all divisions, but 9 region championships in a row is pretty solid.
Absolutely. And as far as upper region, Greeneville's been really dominant in the small school region up here. I know that. I mean, they win it just about every year. Am I correct in that?
You are correct. It will be interesting as Elizabethton's getting a half in. Let's see if they can make a turn. We'll come back to our statement. He does get the turn.
I foresee a pin here.
I'm not sure the South Doyle wrestler can keep the weight from pressing his shoulder down, so we'll see what happens here.
Yeah.
Elizabethton's going to get the pin. And if my score is correct, I've got 48-6.
And that was a tight half.
And back to the comment about the Upper East Tennessee. You know, we have Davy Crockett dropping to small school, Tennessee High dropping to small school, Volunteer dropping to small school. There may be a couple others dropping, but you know, with 3 new teams that have historically been large school, it'll be interesting to see what Greeneville can do this year with those additional teams.
Yeah. And I didn't know that. I mean, that's to think that a school like Tennessee High would be small in the small school division is crazy to me. That's unheard of.
I was surprised to hear that Tennessee High dropped. I don't know their numbers, but obviously low enough to qualify them for small school. We do have the heavyweight match coming up here, and I don't remember the heavyweight's name, but I do remember this heavyweight from Elizabethton being a solid wrestler. I don't know the South Doyle wrestler, so it'll be interesting. The Elizabethton wrestler, he may be a high school senior, but if I'm going in an alley and somebody's coming after me, I want him on my side.
Yeah, he's a big boy, no doubt about it.
I'm going to take the boy out and say he's a big man.
Big man.
Yeah. He's solid. Be interested to see what he can do region tournament and even into the state tournament in this 2021-2022 season, as 2021 is now behind us.
That's a tale as old as time. Shaking hands after the first handshake.
Yeah, you would think you only see that in middle school, but
yeah,
it continues all the way through high school.
It's funny.
We're 30 seconds in, and
wow!
I looked to the score and missed it, but Elizabethton ends up on top and South Doyle on his back. So you can update what happened there.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, he threw him.
Looked like a body lock, maybe?
I couldn't tell if it was that or if it was a lateral drop. I'd have to review the film, but I don't have any film. So.
Quick move. Like I said, I looked at the clock to see the score. He was winning 2-0, and there was 27 seconds that expired. So really, really quick pin there. Like I said, he's a solid wrestler, and I'll be excited to see what he does through the region and in the state tournament. So while Elizabethton and South Doyle shakes, I know that South Doyle's probably going to get on the road to head back to Knoxville. Elizabethton's going to hang around. Greeneville and Elizabethton are region foes, so they do not plan to wrestle head-to-head tonight, as they have their regular season matchup scheduled, I believe, for next Tuesday, but I don't have the schedule in front of me. And I believe that it was originally scheduled for Tennessee High and Elizabethton at Tennessee High, but I believe Tennessee High has given that match to Greeneville, so I think Greeneville will host that match next Tuesday night.
Okay.
So now that Tennessee has dropped to small school, you're going to see a really, really big region matchup next week between three teams that probably will all be in battle for a trip to the state tournament. So if you love wrestling, and you love to see teams go at it with things on the line as far as the season goes, next Tuesday, Greeneville High, and I'm assuming it's a 5:30 weigh-in and a 6:30 wrestle tonight. We got started about 6:45 with four teams, with three teams next week. I expect the gym to be full. I expect Greeneville High School to be loud, and it would be great to see at least this section over to my left. I'd love to see one of those sections full of Greeneville High School students out here helping Greeneville win a region championship, which won't be a region championship, but it'll be the season title. But it'd still be great to have their support in the gym.
It means a lot, and I can attest that personally. My sophomore year and freshman year, the students came out in droves to watch us wrestle Science Hill, and there is extra motivation behind when you got your peers from school watching you. I mean, you're on your best behavior, so to speak, wrestling wise. I mean, you're doing everything you can to win, to be dominant. So
it's terrible to lose a dual meet as a coach, but as a wrestler, to wrestle in front of your peers, you definitely don't want to lose that match. So you're going to give everything you've got. So Greeneville High students, this is a challenge to you. Come out next Tuesday night. Let's fill this gym. Let's cheer Greeneville on to another 10th region championship. Like I said, the region championship will be a couple weeks later, but we will know what it's going to look like come next Tuesday. And speaking of wrestling in front of your peers, I heard you mention the students attending your matches. Well, I can remember, gosh, it's probably in the late 80s or early 90s that we actually had an in-school match. Probably held under Coach Hollowell or Coach Buzzy Mann, a couple of former coaches here at Greeneville High School. And during the day, at the end of the day, we actually filled the gym, put the mat out. Of course, that was in the old school, the old gym, which we ran up through from the side, the dungeon side. And hopefully if either of those coaches are listening, they can appreciate the fact that we really enjoyed that. An in-school match in front of students, that takes it to another level. And hopefully in the near future, it'd be nice to see that happen again.
My dad, who is also a former Greeneville wrestler, has told me about that, and that was always like a dream. It never happened. I guess that ship had sailed when I was wrestling.
It's very difficult to coordinate the time the way the state mandates curriculum and testing in today's world, it's hard to take away time from the classroom.
Yeah.
And speaking of classroom, I know Randy typically is one of the few coaches in the state to receive the academic TSSAA academic award. His performance on the mat and also the performance of his wrestlers in the classroom, and they achieve that award from TSSAA year in, year out. So it's not just athletics; it's a student athlete, and we focus on academics as well.
That's awesome. It's easy when you're in high school to just get wrapped up only in the sport. I was not a bad student or anything, but I definitely could have done better, and you don't realize how much that affects you. When you're in high school, you're only living in the now. You don't think about – you have to be a pretty mature student athlete to be thinking about your grades seriously. So that kudos to Randy for that.
It's easy to look at a grade card and see a high C or a high B and go, it's good enough. But I know Randy challenges these guys to bring that high C and that B up to a B or to an A and improve that GPA. Of course, the goal for him is to put all of these students, athletes in college, and hopefully wrestling in college. And looking at this lineup, Carson, Colin, potentially Noah, Kodiak, Hunter, Zach, who we haven't seen, and I think Zach took a forfeit, Leandre. Those are just a few that are Morgan. Morgan is injured right now with a minor elbow injury, I think is what he told me. And Morgan has a shot to wrestle in college, and you continue down the line with each one. The others with a little bit of effort. I mean, you got Cooper as a sophomore, Ronan coming in as a freshman. We haven't seen him yet tonight. I don't believe he may have taken a forfeit. You got John Chapman, who is a freshman. You got Paul, who's a sophomore. So a lot of young guys who basically have to determine themselves, do they want to go college for academics, athletics, or, in some of their cases, even other areas that they have special interest in.
Absolutely.
I did not think we were wrestling a true dual meet, so it looks like Ronan's going to come out and take a forfeit. I know Elizabethan had told me that they're not going to wrestle a straight. Oh, it looks like it's Greeneville and South Doyle. Sorry. So we do have a forfeit at 106, and then Colin comes out and takes a forfeit at 115 or 113. Leandre is going to roll out, take a forfeit at 120 to make it 18-0. We're rolling into the 126-pound weight class, and it looks like Cooper's coming up for 126. I don't see anyone. I don't see anyone lining up for South Doyle at the moment, so 24-0 with another forfeit.
And just forfeit after forfeit after forfeit for Greeneville. And that's tough for this South Doyle kid. He just wrestled at least a period, or somewhere through there.
You got freshman Elijah coming out. He's going to take a forfeit, so it looks like Greeneville's going to go 30-0. Josh is coming out at 138. That is Josh Jennings who comes out. Josh is going to take a forfeit at 138 to make it 36-0. Did not mention Josh earlier, but Josh is a freshman, I believe, and Josh actually missed his 8th grade year. We've got a double forfeit at 145. Hunter Mason may be taking the night off. Noah coming out at 152 with another forfeit at 152 to make it 42-0. Kind of hard for the crowd also to get into a match where kids are just running out and raising their hand.
And despite you saying that, there was some chanting going on in the bleachers. Let's go Greeneville, let's go, by some of the parents. It
looks like we've made it to 160. And this is older brother Colin DePeel. If I got the pronunciation wrong, I apologize, but you do have a South Doyle wrestler. He wrestled an exhibition match in the last match, so I'm assuming he's a younger wrestler. He is wearing a different singlet, so maybe he has had some AAU experience. So it'll be interesting to see how Colin does. Yeah. Colin's a solid wrestler,
Junior, he is now 20-4. He had a win earlier in the night. Set 7 pins, maybe
quick takedown.
74-8 career record.
That would be his record also before he came. And he is a transfer with the brother, so quick tilt. Sorry, Mr. King, you go back at it there with the play-by-play.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that you saw this Elizabethan kid who was a solid wrestler, wrestled before, and he had some trouble, turning this kid on his back here from South Doyle. But then you look at this Colin DuPill, who is a very solid wrestler. Already, how many points? 7, 8 points right off the bat?
7, 8 quick, 2 tilts. Yeah. And the 1 point came from an escape, but the escape was actually a release. So Colin actually gave him that 1 point. Quick takedown, looked like it made it out of bounds, so they're still standing. And, yes, we do have a 7-1 score, but from the looks of the first 45, 50 seconds, Colin's going to make quick work of this one.
Yes, and he's got a nice stance. He's got a nice grip. I mean, it's great. A stance you see any good wrestler have. Now he's got him on his back.
Went from a great front headlock into a I guess it would be almost a slide by for a quick 2, but almost got some backs on that as he rotated that front headlock. Looked like he dropped the front arm to pick up his 2. But
Colin, he's going to stack him. He's got a stack. That's a pin.
Yeah, a quick stack. There was no movement there.
Very nice.
That's a 1 minute and 23 second pin to make the score 48-0.
And that's how you punish a kid that has his head on the mat constantly when they're on bottom. You tuck that head under. You stack them up. I've done that. I did that several times when I wrestled.
So moving into 182. So I know we mentioned the South Doyle wrestler in the last match, looking like a great football guy. Not sure that he is. Big, strong guy. Unfortunately for that guy, he's going to face Kodiak Kennedy, one of Greeneville's best wrestlers.
And I'm very excited to see Kodiak. I know this won't be a long match or anything, but just to see a guy who's nationally ranked in a Greeneville singlet on a Greeneville mat in Greeneville High School gym is just a treat for me personally.
And I haven't seen Kodiak this year. He definitely looks stronger. He's a good 10 pounds heavier, but it looks like all upper body muscle. Did not get the takedown as he went out of bounds. Looked like he did have feet in, but the official called it out. Looks like those guys are talking it over, but they're going to return standing.
And that's okay. He's going to win this match. It just gives him another chance to practice another takedown.
And he got that takedown real quick with a quick 2. And Kodiak's one of the strongest top wrestlers that I know. I got a feeling you're going to see a leg go in, and no, he's going to let him up for an escape. But that was intentional. Another quick takedown.
And, yep, that's another one. Is he going to let him up again? Or is he going
it looks like he's going to take the turn here. It looks like he's just picking up back points. That's what he was doing. So a quick 3.
Oh.
That's going to make it 7-1 really quick. This
is something you see all really great wrestlers, at least on the high school level, do. They take down, let up, take down, let up. And you're the guy getting taken down and letting up. I mean, that is a confidence destroyer.
Well, and we're talking about a kid that I've been bragging on all night. Great-looking kid, great athlete. And Kodiak's just at ease. Both of the points he scored, Kodiak's given him. So we're back to standing after that last cut. Kodiak winning 7-2. Quick takedown, just pure strength. Make it 9-2. See if he's going to finish this. This is the move that I'm talking about. When Kodiak goes to his half, he's looking at the clock, so he knows he's got 35 seconds. Not sure if his intention is to make this last longer, but definitely a half that I wouldn't want to be in. There is no movement.
He's got great mat awareness. He knew what the time was at every point. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. He was in control.
1 minute and 34 second pin. I'm not sure he wanted to pin in the first period on senior night, but the other athlete just kind of gave in, and it's hard not to do that when you're wrestling 3-time state champion and you're losing 7, 8, 9 to 1. It's going to take a monstrous move or some effort that is miraculous to actually catch a wrestler like Kodiak. Again, great looking athlete, great young man, and hopefully if he's young, he's got a bright future ahead of him. But looking forward to Kodiak in college. Hopefully we can see Kodiak get another state championship before he makes it there.
Yeah, and I'll say it again. I'm just happy to see.
It looks like they're looking to see who they're going to send out. Looks like Greeneville's going to forfeit to make this. I don't know if it's 48 or 54. I'm going to leave it at 48, and I'm going to give them 6. And I'm guessing that was 195, so it looks like we're going to bump Ross Cornelius to to 220. He's our regular 195-pound wrestler. And he will wrestle that good-looking 220 from South Doyle, again, the football guy. Good to see you.
And Ross here.
It was nice to see
Ross Cornelius, 6 and 4
assistant
on the
principal Noel Smith came by and spoke. And then you had the principal here. I'm sure he's probably still here. But he was here for senior night. And looking in the stands, I can see, I saw Todd Newberry. I don't know if Todd's still here. Yes, I can hear him. He's still here. You have Ross doing quick takedown, quick work.
Unless he goes out of bounds, he's going to pin him here.
Oh, great reversal there. Hold the back down. He's definitely going to get the point. Wow, we got a quick pin out of that. We will definitely take it. Todd Newberry was in the corner. Todd Newberry here for him on his senior night. So a great win for Ross Cornelius on senior night at 220. I've got 54-6 as team score.
And that brings him up to 7 and 4 on the year with 6 pins. So good job, Ross.
And as I'm looking around, I want to mention I see Mr. Candelaria from Greeneville Middle School here to support wrestlers on their senior night. I probably missed a few teachers, but if I did, I apologize. Oh, Sarah Chapman, whose son wrestles. John is a wrestler for Greeneville High School, so she obviously here to support John and also other wrestlers. And, of course, I see many of our parents. Great to have them here tonight.
Are we looking at the last match of the night, unless there's some exhibitions?
We are potentially, and like I said, I've got 54-6. We have I drew a quick blank. I think it's Zach. He's probably near the top up here.
Zach Christman?
Zach Christman, who normally wrestles 220 for us. Zach's a great football kid, great kid in general, always polite. Don't personally know Zach from school. He moved in as a freshman, but seems to be a great kid. Great kid.
So I noticed the South Doyle kid here. He's just staring Zach in the eye, and that's one thing you learn kind of, I don't want to say day one, but definitely year one in wrestling, is you don't stare at someone in the eye. You have a kind of a central looking point there to kind of have their whole body. You can see every little bit in their peripheral.
We are bumping Zach up to heavyweight, so he's giving up a little bit of weight, but he definitely looks like most heavyweight wrestlers that I see. So he's not giving up a whole lot of size here.
Yeah, I mean, if he's giving up weight, I don't think he's giving up any muscle for sure.
We had a little bit of a free-for-all there. Both of them, Zach going for a takedown, and South Doyle wrestler grabbed a headlock and just kind of threw.
I think South Doyle is on full defense. He's going to wait for the Greeneville wrestler to.
You know, as a coach, the thing I noticed right off the bat is South Doyle wrestler looks like he's breathing hard a little bit. We're a minute and 10 seconds in the first period is not when you want to be breathing hard.
No, not at all.
Good takedown by Zach there. Looked like South Doyle went for a headlock, which we mentioned earlier, not the thing you do in high school.
And that's another one of them natural instinct things we were talking about earlier. When someone gets a headlock like that, your instinct is to get behind them as much as you can. But if you get out to the side, drop to a single, or switch to a double, that headlock's not going to work unless you're wrestling the world's strongest person.
Yeah, I mean, I teach my guys how to get out of a headlock. We don't teach a headlock throw very often, but we do show it. Wrestlers need to know if a kid's standing there and giving it to you, you got to take it. But it's not a go-to. So
and you're not going. I mean, very very unlikely you're ever going to beat a very good wrestler with a headlock. I mean, it happens every now and then, but it's not common.
Your really good wrestlers know it.
Yeah,
and they're going to use it if they have to. First period's coming to an end. Looks like we got 2 seconds left, and Zach is leading 2-0. Again, he's a sophomore, so state placer as a freshman.
All right.
Pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I want to say he was 4th or 5th, but I think he was 4th. Looks like one of our former wrestlers and one of our room helpers there, Garen Shuffler, has stepped into the corner. Of course, Garen was a 2-time placer, but probably
Great
much more
kid.
potential.
Great kid.
Played
a lot
with
of injuries.
Played
yeah.
with injuries. I know his freshman year, I think he placed third, and he finished. It may have been his sophomore year, but he finished the state tournament, and he ended up having I think he had a plate put in his shoulder. So great to see him here tonight. A good move by Zach.
Good body awareness there by.
Got the
Zach.
arm in. So we
Lift the
definitely
head
got
up.
the takedown to go 4-0, and I don't see this kid fighting for a minute and 32 seconds.
Yeah.
I think that's a long time for anybody to keep 225 pounds off your chest. So it looks like
he
he did.
called it. Yep.
He did get the pin there, about 7 seconds. In the second period, 35 seconds. So that's a 2-minute and 35-second pin, giving Greeneville a 60-6 victory if my score is correct. And we will double check that, see if they got any exhibition matches, and then see what happens here between Greeneville and Elizabethton.
Well, I don't see Greeneville getting up yet, so.
I'm pretty sure that the Elizabethton coach, Eddie Morrell, told me that since we were wrestling next week, they were going to do a few matchups just to give some kids that did not get matches a match, but they don't plan to line up and go head-to-head tonight.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll say that is one of the better, despite the opponents. Greeneville looked really good on top position tonight, and that's definitely something you want to see. Greeneville's going back to their side. I assume there's going to be some exhibition matches wrestled.
Okay, so I did not get a confirmation on the score. I've got 60-6. Scorebook appeared to be 60-6, but there was a forfeit or a bump that we weren't sure about, and we'll kind of wait to see what happens here between Greeneville and Elizabeth. And looking around, I know we haven't mentioned Josue Castilla. Don't think he's had a match tonight. He may be hurt a little bit. Junior, looks like he is 12-8. Been wrestling varsity for a couple years, come a long way. I know Josue's a great soccer kid. I was talking to one of the soccer coaches the other day, and he mentioned bright future for Josue in soccer. Looking around the gym, I see Carter Adams, a former wrestler, Isaac McGill. I said McGill. We got one of the McGill boys here. Isaac Haney, sorry about that. Wrestled for us, graduated a couple years ago. Let's see if I see anybody else.
We got guys I graduated with.
A couple older guys.
Hugo Sanchez and Jeremiah Sims, otherwise known as Piggy. I coached with Piggy with Jason here next to me there for a couple years, Greeneville Middle. We had a good time and we had some success.
Great part of the Greeneville family. Piggy, Jeremiah, he actually helped us at middle school and high school, and thoughts and prayers with his family. They had been suffering a loss here in recent times, so if you know Jeremiah, reach out. Keep him in your thoughts as they are dealing with a family loss over the holidays. So very, very tough time for him, but very happy to see him out at Greeneville High School tonight.
Yeah. Wrestling bonds, they do go deep. I got to say. I mean.
And he's coaching at Knox Catholic?
Yeah, that's what he informed me. And Hugo told me that he was helping you at Greeneville Middle.
Hugo's been a great addition to the Greeneville Middle School wrestling program. Of course, we have Josh Wallen with us as well, so we've got two former wrestlers. Not sure that Hugo was one of those wrestlers that placed at state every year, but Hugo's one of those guys that you didn't want to get on the mat with. You remembered that match because he was tough and mean, and he brings that to practice for middle school wrestlers every day. And an asset to the program. We're going to see the benefits of Hugo for years to come.
And Hugo's one of those guys where it's a shame wrestling for him. Don't start when you're in 12th grade and go through like when you're in college or a younger adult, because he kind of came on. He wasn't that great early on, but he kept working at it. He cracked varsity, I think, his junior year, and then by his senior year, he was one of our better wrestlers, solid wrestlers, and he never gave up.
Gave you everything he had every time he stepped on the mat.
Absolutely. And he always listened. That's the one thing I remember. He's a great listener.
And I want to mention, we don't have any of our senior girl wrestlers here. We do have we have them here. We don't have them wrestling tonight. Allie Shelton, Coach Shelton's daughter, sitting at 17-5 as a junior. Jenna Baines, last year's state champion at 15-1. You got Morgan Cornelius, who is a sophomore. Jenna's a sophomore. Morgan has been the runner-up in several tournaments, but got the second place medal off of her shoulder last week and actually pulled out a victory at the Fandetti Brawl, I believe. So she got her first victory. She's currently sitting at 13-6. And then continuing down, we got Chloe is here. She just looked over as I said her name. Brianna here. I don't know if Brianna is here. Maybe have all of them here. Continuing down. That may be all that I see. And at the end down here, all of these girls are keeping score for us. We have Gabby, and if I left anybody out, girls, I do apologize. But they've got the score table under control right now. It looks like a little bit of food. I even see a soft drink. I see 2 soft drinks. I see a pack of Skittles. So don't turn wrestlers loose with junk food. We got them keeping the scoreboard and the clock. Chloe here, I think she's keeping blood time and injury time, and Allie's keeping the score. And Morgan is currently eating pizza, it looks like. So I'm not sure. Randy's going to be happy. Maybe tomorrow in practice we'll work that slice off. The next one down there, I can't remember her name. She has a Pepsi in front of her. So all of these girls will be mad at me because Coach Shelton's going to work them hard tomorrow. So I'm not sure if we're wrestling an actual dual meet or exhibition matches, but we will call it out without calling team score. This is a 106-pound match. We have Ronan Johnson, who has a younger sister that wrestled in middle school this year with maybe 2 losses all year wrestling against guys. So excited to see what Ryan can do.
And Ronan's 2-2 on the year.
Right. Of course, you're following in a spot where you got Colin in front of you.
Yeah.
Very difficult to get a lot of matches, but definitely an asset to the team because you can bump Colin.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you have more than 106, it don't matter how good or bad they are. You got that depth there where you can bump up your starter if you had to, and that's huge.
And Ronan is a freshman who's been around wrestling quite a bit. Quick takedown there. So Ronan gets a quick 2. This is a great match to know what you need to do when you're wrestling them for a region championship.
Oh, yeah,
Can
absolutely.
you throw Ronan out and bump Colin, or do you even need to do that? And this kind of tells you what you can do in the future. Coach Shelton probably not going to like me giving out the secrets here as we wrestle exhibition matches, especially if we got Elizabethan fans watching. But nonetheless, it's good to know the outcome of this match so that you know whether or not you can bump your starter at 106.
And I mean, so far, I mean, he's in control. I mean, that's a pin.
Yeah, no doubt about that one.
Pin,
Great, looked like a great bar, great half, quick
Took care of
turn,
business.
and takes care of the job. So 106 goes to Greeneville.
And I have a soft spot in my heart for the lightweight, so I love to see it. I mean, especially a guy that's not varsity. He stuck through it. He's getting his time. He goes out there and still take care of business.
And I know when you wrestled, there was a lot of weight cutting. I don't think we have a lot of weight cutting with these guys. We can bump and move, and these guys are
I
they're
cut a lot of
disciplined.
weight.
they're disciplined, and they show up within a pound or two, and when it's time to wrestle, they show up in their own weight. So as a coach, it's nice to have the ability to just say, okay, you're going to be 106, and you show up and you weigh 105.
And I feel like that's something that's just in the last 10 years that's evolved in the sport from what I've noticed is, weight cutting forever was just a normal part of wrestling, like extreme weight cutting. I mean, not losing a pound or two.
And the weight management hydration program has helped with that. It tells them where they should be, and you don't have a kid trying to cut 20, 30, or more for some of those big guys. I can remember guys coming out of football at 300 cutting to 280, and Very, very difficult. So we have freshman Elijah Dabney here. Elijah looked really tired in the first period, so let's see how he rebounds in this one. Still standing, 23 seconds in.
Yeah, he either needs to be more aggressive, or when that kid shoots, he needs to throw some hips, cross face, like, get out of here. Why are you shooting on me? Like, you should punish people for thinking they can take you down by shooting on you.
Well, and again, he's the same one that went for the headlock in the first period, and he is really close. Again, most wrestlers are able to fight that headlock off. Does not look like he's going to get the takedown nor point. So I did not see the original takedown by Elizabethan.
I didn't either. I must have missed that.
So they were awarded 2, and then when we stood up with the headlock, we were given 1, 2 as an escape point.
Yeah, that one lost on me too. I didn't see that or notice it.
Elizabethan with a quick leg. Elijah recovered, but we are back to our feet.
And this is the good thing about Elijah. You don't see a whole lot of technique right now, but you see the athleticism. And you get some technique in there, and then you got a lot of potential. And
Elijah has great hips. He finds ways to put himself in a good position, and that's half the battle. When the skills come with his athletic ability and his natural movement, I think Elijah's going to be Leandre 2.0.
And you certainly hope so. You see there's just a rookie mistake, not bringing the hips.
So we had a great, looked like a double leg in, and I don't know if we hit a knee or if we were just off balance, and they grabbed a headlock and was able to get some back points and a takedown off of it. But it looks like Elijah's going to come out of it. Good job, Elijah. 7-1. We're going to have to get that half out. Good winger. Pull the half off. Going to have to see a little more movement.
Yeah, Elijah's going to have to spend a lot of time live wrestling, drilling, running. He's got to get in shape.
And I think that's the biggest problem at this point. He knows how to wrestle, get a little stronger, grow a little bit, get a little more experience under your belt, and I think Elijah's going to be fine. Elizabethan did pick up the pin. Elijah does not appear to be real happy with that loss. That's a good thing. Never bad to not be happy when you lose.
You want to hate losing, that's for sure.
We got Josh coming back up again. Josh is a freshman. Came in tonight with a 2-2 record, I believe. And he picked up 1 forfeit or 2 forfeits, so he may be 4-0 now, or 4-2 now.
And I think he's facing one of Elizabethan's better wrestlers.
I think he is. So it'll be interesting to see as a freshman. I remember Josh wrestling as a 7th grader, and Josh was one of those kids that he is growing into his body a little bit. You can still see the youth, but at the same time, I remember Josh giving more fight than most wrestlers that I've seen. So be interesting to see if he can fight this guy off. So
yeah, he still has the baby face for sure. I can see it as being a freshman.
All right, so at least he's not giving up that leg.
If he gets on there and drives and drives and drives.
You can see right now with Elizabethan, the wrestler from Elizabethan is very athletic young man. Again, I don't remember his name. I know he's one of their better wrestlers, but definitely more. Good job, Josh, on creating a stalemate call there so they go back to their feet.
I feel like something that would throw this Elizabethan kid off is, this Elizabethan kid, he looks like he thrives on intimidation. Like, I got the fancy pre-match ritual. If he was a little more aggressive, sometimes those kids are the fastest ones to fold, or the ones that come out the biggest and the loudest before a match.
And it looks like Josh has played into that just a little bit, kind of balling up a little bit and maybe a little hesitant because he looks athletic. But I can remember one upset that I had as a sophomore, and it's always fun to beat an upperclassman. So hopefully Josh will grow and continue to improve.
And, just a freshman, no one's expecting you to be a world beater unless you're a Kodiak. No one's expecting you to be a world beater as a freshman. So,
got to take advantage of those wrestlers that are in the wrestling room and work and get harder. Again, we've got ranked kids ranked in the country, and you can practice with those guys every day and become the wrestler you want to be.
Yeah.
Definitely a good wrestler from Elizabethan. No problem there.
No.
You're not expected to go out and win that match. Elizabethan did what they were supposed to do.
I say, though, Greeneville wrestled straight up with Elizabethan here. they need to go takedowns with this Elizabethton kid unless Greeneville's just got a straight up better wrestler. I mean,
yeah, we've got Hunter Mason kind of floating in there. I don't know if Hunter's cutting or where he is, but here we got another freshman coming out. John Chapman, who has been on descent to a lower weight class, and I don't know if he's decided to stay where he's at for now, but a freshman wrestling a heavyweight right now is very, very tough for a freshman. Great
he's got
kid.
3 wins on the year with a pin. These exhibition matches, any viewer out there, they don't count toward the score. So you're not looking so much as, you want to win, obviously, but you're looking for, are you hitting any moves we practice in the wrestling room? Where's your intensity? What do you look like during a live wrestling situation? It's not so much, go out there and win. We got to win, win, win. No. That's important, but that's not everything in an exhibition match.
And this is your chance. You're wrestling a varsity wrestler from Elizabethton, and you're JV or a backup or maybe a guy that fills a hole, and you're getting a chance to prove your worth. And here John's putting up a lot of fight right off the bat, so a great start. Not in great position, but let's see if he can hang on.
Well, he can't let go of that leg, and he can't get flattened out. Those are the 2 keys. Yep, if he keeps going, there you go.
Okay.
If he circles around,
good job.
Gets his head out.
Get the circle. All right, everybody in the gym's yelling half, so a nice half there probably would have finished this match, but we did get the 2 takedown.
Excellent. That looked like he had a nice shot and he was going to lose it. He didn't let go. He didn't give up. Now he's got the takedown.
Got at least one knee. At least one knee on the mat. There's a knee back up, so we got him broke down. Let's see if we can put a half in, throw in a power half.
Yep, he's got the power half.
All right, so it looks like we got a chance to a turn.
This will be crowd is very
if this
excited.
is the end of the night, what a way to end it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we got the pin. Good job, John.
Coaches are proud.
Great job.
Parents
Freshman
are
stepping
proud.
in.
Teammates are proud. That's what you like to see.
I think this is the most fired up this gym's been tonight.
And he must have rose up to the occasion. Everyone is so happy that he won.
As a freshman stepping up, they're avoiding the coaches. I think they're ready to tackle him. So, looks like we got the nosebleeder coming up again. This looks like Paul. Let's see if he can make it through a match without a nosebleed. Or maybe we can put the coaches back to work.
If you put a wig, the same wig on these 2 kids, you would think they're twins. They got the identical build.
Identical body build. Body build. I'm going to guess.
And the same shoes. Wow.
And I'm going to guess they're probably, 145, or was he up about 160? 145, 152 in that range.
He's not 160, but, he could be.
We may be bumping him a little bit. I remember mentioning him being close to Hunter and Kodiak. But again, exhibition match, wrestling some varsity kids. This may be the other kid from Elizabethton that I don't have his name. That's a solid wrestler. Quick takedown for him. He got a takedown and a return.
Now,
I see one of our wrestlers on the bench over here holding up locked hands. I think he's sending a hint to the officials, hoping that they can look at what he's telling them and they can make a call. I didn't see a locked hands, but I guess if I'm looking at a wrestler that's going to Virginia Tech and a couple of officials, and I'm going to pick on them a little bit. They're both in their first year, but they've done a great job tonight. But I'm probably going to go with the call that Hunter made. They're going to go ahead and, if you see the coaches coming in front of the table, they're predicting the nosebleed and picking up the wipes here. So it's just nice to see Atlas have to move.
I saw it there, Jason.
Okay, so Elizabethton does have a tendency to lock hands here. They've missed it a couple times.
Yeah.
At least once.
So that gives me confidence. And you say Hunter?
Hunter.
Yeah. So.
Looks like we got a tilt here. Oh, that was a quick
He's
2.
got to fight it.
Come on now.
He's got a flail. At that point, you just.
I'm not sure if he got a full straight 2 count, but it looks like they're going to get it if he gets a tilt here. Oh, it looks like he's going to fight out of it. They do give a 2. I really thought that was a 1 count. And then I think he returned to position and got one more. I don't think he got a 2 count, but it looks like they're real close with 8 seconds. Maybe he can avoid another count.
Yeah, he's got to fight this so you don't give up any extra free points here.
currently a 4-0 score at the end of the first period. Good fight.
Good fight, yeah.
But more importantly, we made it through a whole period without a nosebleed.
That's a theme with this one is the nosebleeds, apparently.
Okay, so they did stop the 3 count or the 5 count to give him 3. Heard the official say they did award 2. They had a 2 count and then they stopped and restarted. So that was the reason for the 2 points awarded. We do have 4-0 at the start. Looks like Elizabethton is starting on top.
And I like it. He stood up fast. He needs to keep doing it. The one thing a lot of wrestlers don't realize is how tiring it is to keep bringing someone back down to a mat. At some point, people are just like, forget it. I'm going to let you have the escape.
And conditioning has been a strong point for Greeneville is our wrestlers don't get tired.
I went to a 28-day intensive wrestling camp at University of Minnesota between my junior and senior year. The legendary J-Rob taught us that standing up and escaping is a mindset. And my senior year, I turned it on. I mean, I got so many escapes because I used to be one of those.
As expected. So Atlas doesn't have to make another trip. He already has the wipes. But we have another nosebleed. I'm curious to see, since it's an exhibition match. So no points awarded. We're still setting 4-0, and they're doing a little bit of cleanup. I haven't heard stop time yet, but I don't think time's an issue. Do a quick look around the gym. It looks like
unless we're just sitting here for 20 minutes, you would think during an exhibition match it wouldn't be as big of a deal.
I would think if he has as much blood this time as he did last time, they may call it, but I'm sure they'll try to get it in.
I got to say, though, one thing is this wrestling mat is awesome. I wish we had something like that when I wrestled.
This mat's
mat I've seen.
Been around about 5 or 6 years now, maybe in its 5th year. At the time, I believe it was maybe one of only 2 or 3 in the state that had the graphics. Beautiful mat. And, of course, we picked up a new mat at the middle school this year.
Oh, really?
It is I think it's a Resolite, but we were able to pick it up Virginia. It doesn't match color-wise, but does give us another mat for tournaments.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll throw a quick thank you to the Booster Club. Uh-oh.
Raise your hips.
Oh. We got a reversal.
Oh, man. Elizabeth, the kid's fighting hard, though. Will he be able to?
Wow. So I do believe that was.
Great comeback. Wow.
By the sound of the crowd, I believe that was one of Elizabethton's better wrestlers. So, Paul steps up.
Absolutely.
And takes out one of their strong wrestlers. So that's really good going into what will be regionals to see that matchup. So great job, Paul.
And regardless of what anyone says about, that was just luck or whatever, hey, he put himself in that position, and he did what he had to do, and he pinned him. I mean,
we teach you sometimes you get one shot, and you better take advantage of it. He came out on top with a half, and fortunately for him, the wrestler from Elizabethton had locked his head. There wasn't a lot of room for him to go anywhere, and Paul took advantage of it and closed it out with a quick